Ukraine lost an F-16. Has Ukraine communicated that to the U.S.? Does the U.S. have any sense of whether it was down by Russian fire or by something else? And has Ukraine asked the U.S. for any assistance in the investigation?
I've seen the reports. I'm not aware of any assistance or request for assistance from the Ukrainian side to us about this particular incident. But I'd refer you to the Ukrainians more to speak to any specifics on this pilot.
Thanks, Sabrina, for this. To the question about the F-16 that crashed in Ukraine, killing the pilot. Can you say how many F-16 U.S.-made F-16s are in Ukraine or are on their way or will be sent there? And what, if anything, can you say about that incident more than what you said to Oren?
Jay, unfortunately, this will not be very satisfactory to you, but I'm just not going to get into numbers of how many F-16s are in Ukraine. That's something for them to speak to. That opens up a lot of operational security issues as well. So I'm just not going to be able to speak to that. In terms of the incident and the pilot that, has been referenced and that Oren had asked about earlier, I'm just not going to be able to provide more. That's really something for Ukraine to speak to. We have been, as you know, training pilots here in the United States. I will say that, broadly speaking, combat aviation is incredibly complex, and we've been very proud to train some of the pilots here in the United States, and not just here, but our partners and allies through the UDCG are also training Ukrainian pilots on F-16s. Every day that they fly those aircraft, these are brave men and women going up there to defend their skies and to defend their country. And so we're very proud to have been part of training some of those here in the United States, but I just don't have more to add on that particular incident. I'll take one more from the phone and then happy to come into the room. I think Eric Schmidt, New York Times. Charlie.
Thank you, Sabrina. Going back to the F-16.
Sure.
American-trained pilot, American-equipped F-16s, including, I think, an electronics warfare package, American-advised, which is still going on. Are you telling we're not tracking? We don't have the reason for what happened when it has consequence for the United States?
I'm just telling you that I cannot confirm the incident. I'd refer you to the Ukrainians to speak to their own operations.
We, as the United States, are tracking the F-16s that we've
appreciate the question, but I'm just not going to get into any more specifics about the incident.
Sure. Say. It seems the Houthis have been acting up again. Do we have a force presence in the Red Sea?
Through Operation Prosperity Guardian, between the U.S. and our allies and partners, we always maintain a presence within the Red Sea. I can't speak to specific ships that are there right now, but we do have, through partners and allies, a presence there. Janie.
Thank you, Sabrina. Two questions. It is reported that North Korea registered 13 submarines with the International Maritime Organization. This can be seen as an intention to wage war overseas. What do you think of the background to this?
I'm not aware of that report, Janie, so I just don't have anything to offer on that one.
Can I?
Yeah, sure. You have a follow-up?
Yeah. North Korean Kim Jong-un declared support for Putin's war in Ukraine. And could this be seen having international military training in mind, such as with North Korea, Russia, or China?
That's really for North Korea to speak to. It's not a surprise that North Korea has pledged support to Russia. We've spoken about that pretty publicly. We've spoken about the fact that DPRK continues to provide capabilities to Russia that they're using on the battlefield in Ukraine. We can only really speak to what we're doing. And you know what we're doing, Janie, is through the UDCG. The Secretary convenes 50 countries and partners around the world to support Ukraine and its battle on what it needs on the battlefield. There's going to be another meeting next week. That's another opportunity for allies and partners to come together to ensure that Ukraine has what it needs on the battlefield. But I'm just not going to speak for the DPRK. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Sabrina. There has been domestic criticism that US is spending too much as compared to its allies to protect the interest of allies. Even Donald Trump said that it will insist NATO members to spend at least 3% of their GDP on defense. Do you think so? That is this because of the leading role of the US that Ukraine is able to do such advances and able to resist such attack till now?
You're talking about countries increasing their defense spending?
Trump said that I will insist NATO members to increase from 2% to 3%. Even NATO members are not spending 2% of their GDP on defense, and US is like spending major.
We actually have seen an increase of NATO members spending more when it comes to committing to meeting defense requirements. That's actually something that this administration has been leading on and urging allies, a part of the NATO alliance, to do just that. You've seen commitments come out of Vilnius. Last year, you saw the NATO summit here in Washington, D.C., where multiple NATO countries announced further commitments to supporting Ukraine. So again, we're on the right track here. Countries are continuing to deepen their cooperation and knitting together their resources to support Ukraine. And it's been incredible to watch, and that's something that you really did see come together at the Washington summit here over the summer.
Turkey is also a NATO ally of the US. So Turkey has some kind of reservation, especially about the situation in Syria, some concerns in Syria. So is this administration able to address the concerns of Turkey?
We have a great partner in Turkey. I can't speak to their criticisms or concerns other than to tell you that we work with Turkey on a regular basis, including with what is happening in the Middle East. I'm just going to leave it at that.